Now let's begin with the first conversation. Number 1.
I like your new bicycle, Helen.
Thanks, but it isn't new. I had my old one repainted.
What can be said about Helen's bicycle? Number 2.
Will that be cash, check, or charge?
I'm going to write a check, but I just realized I left my checkbook in my car. I'll be right back.
What will the man probably do next? Number 3.
I'll never be able to get through all these books on Professor Gray's reading list.
But Mark, not all of them are required.
What does the woman tell Mark? Number 4.
Was there anything you didn't like about the novel?
Only that it was too short.
What does the woman imply about the novel? Number 5.
Should I fill out this form with a pen or a pencil?
What difference does it make?
What does the woman mean? Number 6.
This new computer software is really easy to use.
Isn't it, though?
What does the man mean? Number 7.
You did bring the slide projector, didn't you?
I brought it, but I'm afraid it's out of order.
What is the problem with the slide projector? Number 8.
Your brother called. He wants you to meet him for dinner.
Oh, really? Did he say when?
What does the man want to know? Number 9.
Have you heard from Howard lately?
Funny you should ask. Yesterday, from out of the blue, I got a letter from him.
What does the man say about Howard? Number 10.
If you don't like this studio apartment, I can show you a one-bedroom unit up on the 3rd floor.
All right. This one just doesn't have enough room for me.
How does the man feel about the studio apartment? Number 11.
I think I deserved a higher grade in chemistry class. Does Professor Welch ever change the grades he gives?
Sure, about once a century.
What can be inferred about Professor Welch from this conversation? Number 12.
I wonder how I did on Professor Porter's test.
Oh, she's already posted the grades on her office door.
What does the man say about Professor Porter? Number 13.
I've invited some friends over to watch the game on television. I think I'll go out and get some drinks before they arrive here.
Shouldn't you get some snacks, too?
What does the woman tell the man? Number 14.
I'm going to drop my political science class. It meets too early in the morning for me.
Alan, is that really a good reason to drop the class?
What does the woman imply? Number 15.
I can hardly hear anything from back here. Let's just go home.
Why don't we ask an usher if we can sit closer to the stage?
What does the man suggest? Number 16.
William comes up with some weak excuse or another for just about every mistake he makes, doesn't he? Wait till you hear his latest.
What do the speakers imply about William? Number 17.
What a beautiful sunset. You should photograph it, Melissa.
If I had some film in my camera, I would.
What does Melissa mean? Number 18.
We should be arriving at the airport in another 10 minutes.
Wait a second. This bus is going to the airport?
What can be inferred about the man? Number 19.
I wonder when the Board of Regents will pick a new dean of students.
Who knows? They're not even scheduled to meet until next month.
What does the woman imply? Number 20.
Are Randy and his friends still going to play cards this evening?
He's setting up the folding card table right now.
What does the woman say about Randy? Number 21.
We should never have listened to Harvey.
If only we'd asked someone else for advice.
What do they mean? Number 22.
All the people in the audience certainly seemed to enjoy the performance.
Well, almost all of them did.
What does the woman mean? Number 23.
How was your room last night?
I slept like a baby, and the rates were quite reasonable.
What are these people probably discussing?
Number 24.
Professor White? A few of us in the back of the room didn't get a copy of your syllabus.
There are 23 names on my class list, so I only brought 23 copies of the syllabus.
What can be inferred from Professor White's remark? Number 25.
We're not far from Mount Pleasant Street. There are some antique stores there that have some wonderful things, and they're fairly cheap.
They have some nice antiques, all right, but I sure wouldn't call them cheap.
What does the man mean? Number 26.
Daniel said that San Diego is a great place to go to a conference.
He should know. He's been there often enough.
What does the man say about Daniel? Number 27.
Have you ever gone for a ride with Charlie? I sure have. He seems to think he's a race car driver, doesn't he?
What does the woman imply about Charlie? Number 28.
Try a bowl of this soup and see how you like it. It's a new brand.
I'd say it stacks up pretty well against the other kinds.
What does the man mean? Number 29.
Peter is favored to win the tennis match Saturday.
Oh, then that match wasn't canceled after all.
What had the man originally assumed? Number 30.
Adam, do you remember the tools I lent you when you were building those bookshelves last month? I'd like to have them back.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but I can't seem to lay my hands on them.
What does Adam imply?
This is the end of Part A. Go on to Part B.
Questions 31 to 33. Listen to the following conversation.
Good morning, Diana. What did you want to talk to me about?
Good morning, Professor Lane. I wanted to talk to you about changing my major. You see, I've decided that when I graduate in 3 years, I'd like to work in an art museum. I think I should change my major to art history.
You know, Diana, I think you should give this decision some more thought. You've done well in your year as a business major. Besides, all organizations need good managers, whether they're private companies or nonprofit foundations like museums.
I suppose that's true, but wouldn't I still have to know a lot about art?
Why not take a few elective courses in art history and try working a few hours a week as a volunteer at the local art museum? See if you really like working there.
Number 31. What is the probable relationship between these two speakers? Number 32. When does Diana hope to begin working at a museum? Number 33. What does the man advise Diana to do? Questions 34 to 37. Listen to a conversation between two students.
Gloria, hello. You're not looking too happy. What's the matter? Have you been studying too much?
Oh, hi. No, that's not it. The problem is that I was planning to go home over spring break, but my travel agent just told me all the airlines are fully booked that week.
Why not go by car?
It's too long a trip to take by myself, and gasoline is so expensive.
Have you checked the ride board? Maybe you can get a rider to go with you.
The ride board? What's that?
It's a bulletin board that has a map of the United States on it. The map is divided into different regions, and each region has a different number. Say you want to go to New England. That would be box number 1. There are boxes for each number. You can put a white card or a blue card in one of the boxes.
What's the difference between a blue card and a white one?
Blue means you have a car and need riders to share the driving. White means that you're looking for a ride.
So I should go look at the white cards to see if anyone needs a ride to where I'm going, right?
Yeah, and fill out a blue card, too.
So where is this ride board?
It's on the 2nd floor at the Student Union building, right by the campus cinema.
Number 34. Why does Gloria look unhappy? Number 35. According to the man, what do the numbers on the boxes at the ride board indicate? Number 36. What does Gloria hope to obtain through the ride board? Number 37. Where is the ride board?
This is the end of Part B. Go on to Part C.
Questions 38 to 42. Listen to a student telling his friends about an experience he had.
I saw something rather unusual late last Sunday night. My roommate Ron and I were driving back here to the university from my parents' house. They live in a small town about 70 miles from here. We'd stopped so that I could drive. Ron was really tired. When all of a sudden the whole sky was lit up. I thought I was seeing a UFO, a real flying saucer. Ron thought maybe it was an airliner going down, or a satellite coming out of orbit. A fireball shot across the sky. It looked almost like fireworks. Then the light disappeared behind the hills. It wasn't until the next morning, when I was listening to the morning news on the radio, that I found out what had happened. Apparently, I'd seen a large meteorite. The light was caused by the heat of friction as the meteor traveled through the atmosphere. Most meteors burn up in the upper atmosphere, according to the announcer, but large ones can hit the ground. This one was unusual in that pieces of it were recovered. They landed in a parking lot about 20 miles from where we were. My mother told me that when she was young, she read a story in a magazine about a meteorite that crashed through the roof of a house and hit a woman sleeping in her bedroom and broke her leg. Anyway, it was an incredible sight, and I'm glad I was lucky enough to see it.
Number 38. What did the man initially believe he had seen? Number 39. Why had the man stopped the car? Number 40. How did the man learn what he had actually seen? Number 41. What happened to the meteor that the man had seen? Number 42. How did the man feel about what he had seen? Questions 43 to 46. Listen to a talk given by a tour guide.
Ladies and gentlemen, the bus will stop next at the Washington Monument, which honors the first president of the United States. The first stone of the monument was laid in 1848, but because of a variety of problems, work was delayed. So it was not until 1884 that the monument was completed. Imagine that! It took 36 years. And then it was another 4 years before it opened to the public. Now, if you like, you can go to the top of the monument. On the way up, you'll have to take the elevator. You can take the elevator down, too, or you can walk, if you don't mind climbing down 898 steps. The monument is made of marble, except for a tiny aluminum tip. Incidentally, before the tip was put on the monument, it was displayed around the country. Some young people jumped over the tip so that later they could truthfully claim that they'd jumped over the top of the Washington Monument. After visiting the Washington Monument, we'll be walking over to the Lincoln Memorial. Watch your step as you get off the bus, please.
Number 43. Where is this talk probably being given? Number 44. How long did it take to build the Washington Monument? Number 45. According to the speaker, what must those people who go to the top of the Washington Monument do? Number 46. According to the speaker, what did some young people do when the tip of the monument was displayed?
Questions 47 to 50. Listen to the following lecture.
Good day, class. Today we're going to continue our discussion of American music with a look at the songs of the frontier period. Nearly everyone who went west, the mountaineers, the miners, the river raftsmen, the railroad workers, had songs to accompany their work. And after work, the men and women of the frontier sang and danced to fiddle tunes or country dances. Some of these songs were new versions of old songs from Europe, while some were completely new. Some of the most popular of these songs were later used as theme songs for political campaigns. Now, we're going to listen to a few of these songs performed much as they were almost 2 centuries ago. As you listen to the recordings, notice the difference between these lively songs and the slower, more genteel music of the Eastern choral societies that we listened to in our last class.
Number 47. In what course is this lecture probably given? Number 48. What can be inferred about the songs of the frontier? Number 49. According to the speaker, how do these songs compare with the songs of Eastern choral societies? Number 50. What will the people who are listening to this lecture probably do next? This is the end of the sample listening comprehension test.
Number 21.
Have you seen Shelley recently? The last time I spoke to her, she said she hadn't been feeling too well.
Well, when I saw her this morning, she was the picture of health.
What does the man say about Shelley? Number 22.
Everyone's getting a little impatient. Can't we call this meeting to order?
Once Lou gets here, we can.
What does the man mean? Number 23.
Marianne, are you going to buy those sunglasses you looked at?
I wouldn't buy that pair even if I could afford them.
What does Mary Ann say about the sunglasses? Number 24.
You can't expect to become a tennis pro after just a few lessons, Ken.
I shouldn't have had such high hopes, I suppose.
What did Ken probably expect? Number 25.
We only have a few more points to talk over.
Good, because I need to wrap this up soon.
What does the man want to do? Number 26.
Can I help you?
I'd just like a couple of books of matches, please.
What does the man mean? Number 27.
Should I take California Street or Oak Street to get downtown?
What difference does it make? It's the same distance no matter how you go.
What does the woman mean? Number 28. Did you hear the announcement?
Yes, and I could hardly believe my ears.
What does the woman imply about the announcement? Number 29. Brian, could you handle this suitcase too?
How many hands do you think I have?
What does Brian mean?
Number 30.
I'm so glad I can go camping this weekend.
Then you don't have to study for that physics test after all?
What had the man originally thought about the woman?
This is the end of Part A. Go on to Part B.
Now let's begin Part B with the first conversation. Questions 31 to 34. Listen to the following conversation.
Walter, why haven't you been coming to Professor Crosley's anthropology class?
What do you mean? I've been there every morning.
Every morning? But, oh, I get it. You must be in the professor's morning class in cultural anthropology. I'm in her afternoon class in social anthropology. So tell me, how do you like her class?
Oh, it's very interesting. So far we've been studying the art, the architecture, and the tools of different cultures. And this Saturday, our class is going down to the local museum. They're having an exhibit of the artifacts of the early inhabitants of this area.
Your class has quite a different focus from mine. We're studying social relations in groups. For example, this week we've been talking about marriage customs and family life in a number of societies, including our own.
So what's your opinion of Professor Crosley?
Well, she asks her students to do a lot of work. We're going to have 2 tests and 2 research papers, but she's a fascinating lecturer. I've never taken an anthropology course before, but I'm glad I decided to take her course.
Yeah, same for me. In fact, I never thought of anthropology as an interesting subject, but now I sure do.
Number 31. What do the 2 speakers have in common? Number 32. When does the women's class meet? Number 33. Which of the following topics would most likely be discussed in the man's class? Number 34. What had the man's opinion of anthropology been before this term? Questions 35 to 38. Listen to the following phone conversation.
Hello, this is WBCL Community Television Studios. How may I help you?
Hello. I'm calling because I saw an advertisement in the campus newspaper. It said there was a summer internship available for a student who wants to work on your local news program.
Right, but you do realize that all of our interns are volunteers. It's an unpaid position.
Oh, sure, I understand that. I just want to get some experience working for a television news program. You see, I'm thinking about a career in television news production after I get my degree.
Oh, are you majoring in telecommunications?
No, in journalism, but I've taken some telecommunications courses.
I see. Well, you'll need to talk to Ms. Wagner. She's in charge of the internship program. But first, you'll need to come here to fill out an application form. Can you drop by the studio later today?
Number 35. Where does the woman work? Number 36. Why is the man applying for this position? Number 37. What is the man majoring in at the university? Number 38. What does the man need to do next in order to get the position?
This is the end of Part B. Go on to Part C.
Now let's begin Part C with the first talk. Questions 39 to 42. Listen to the following lecture. How many of you were at the football game Saturday night? Did you notice the blimp circling the stadium? Today's blimps are much smaller descendants of the giant airships, sometimes called zeppelins, that were used in the early 20th century. Like those zeppelins, blimps are lighter-than-air aircraft. But blimps differ from Zeppelins in a number of ways. First, as I said, they are quite a bit smaller. The old airships were as long as football fields. And unlike Zeppelins, blimps do not contain an internal metal frame. That's why blimps are sometimes called non-rigid airships. And blimps are a lot safer than the old Zeppelins. That's because they use non-flammable helium in place of hydrogen to provide lift. As you may know, the age of the airship ended when the famous German airship Hindenburg exploded disastrously at Lakehurst, New Jersey in 1937. I say that airship travel ended then, but some engineers believe that large, rigid airships will fly again. These airships of the future could be equipped with jet engines and filled with helium. Although they wouldn't be as fast as modern airplanes, they would be much more fuel efficient. Number 39. What is the main topic of this talk? Number 40. Which of the following aircraft is classified as non-rigid? Number 41. What important event in the history of airships took place at Lakehurst, New Jersey in 1937? Number 42. According to the talk, what advantage would the airships of the future have over jet airplanes? Questions 43 to 46. Listen to the following talk.
Twice a year, all the clocks in the United States are changed by 1 hour. In the spring, clocks are moved ahead an hour. This is called daylight saving time. In the fall, clocks are set back an hour to standard time. People remember how to change their clocks by remembering this saying, spring forward, fall back. It seems Benjamin Franklin was the first person to propose the idea of daylight saving time, back in the 1790s. At the time, people thought he was joking. They couldn't believe he was serious. Many years later, during World War I, people realized what an innovative idea he'd had. In the spring and summer, the sun rises earlier. By moving the clock ahead, people can take advantage of the extra daylight and save energy. Energy is an important resource, of course, especially during wartime. The United States operated on daylight saving time during World War I and again during World War II. After that, some parts of the country observed daylight saving time and some didn't. Beginning and ending dates varied from place to place. This confusion ended in 1966, when the Congress passed the Uniform Time Act, standardizing the process and making daylight saving time a federal law. Since then, some lawmakers have proposed that the United States go to year-round daylight saving time.
Number 43. What is the main topic of this talk? Number 44. According to the speaker, when are clocks in the United States set back? Number 45. According to the speaker, how would most people probably have characterized Benjamin Franklin's plan for daylight saving time when it was first proposed? Number 46. According to the speaker, what was the effect of the Uniform Time Act of 1966? questions 47 to 50. Listen to the following radio announcement.
This week, the city will begin a new program of curbside recycling. If you take your recyclable materials out to the street, the city will haul them away in trucks to be recycled. At present, you can recycle newspapers, aluminum cans, and glass containers. The trucks will not pick up plastic bottles. However, if you want to recycle plastic bottles, you can take them to the City Recycling Center on Pine Street. If you live in the north or west side of town, trucks will pick up your recyclables on Monday. If you live in the east or south part of town, your recyclables will be picked up on Wednesday. If you live in the central section of town, your pickup day is Friday. For more details, see the map in today's newspaper. And remember, when it comes to newspaper, aluminum, and glass, don't throw it away. Recycle it.
Number 47. What is the main topic of this talk? Number 48. Which of the following must be brought to the city's facility on Pine Street to be recycled? Number 49. In which part of town are recyclables picked up on Friday? Number 50. To get more information, what does the speaker suggest? This is the end of Section 1, Listening Comprehension. Stop work on Section 1. Now let's begin with the first conversation. Number 1.
Excuse me, do you know which apartment Sally Hill lives in?
Sally Hill? As far as I know, she doesn't live in this apartment complex at all.
What does the man imply about Sally Hill? Number 2.
Roger, may I use your phone? I think mine is out of order.
Feel free.
What does Roger tell the woman? Number 3.
Were you able to solve that math problem?
To tell you the truth, I found it simply impossible.
What does the man say about the math problem? Number 4.
Uh-oh, your roommate's making dinner again. Your kitchen is going to look like a tornado hit it.
Maybe not. Last night he cooked dinner and left the kitchen spick and span.
What does the man say his roommate did? Number 5.
How did you learn so much about trees?
Mostly from my father. He studied forestry in college.
How did the man learn about trees? Number 6.
Hello.
Hi, Tom. This is Brenda. Since you couldn't come to class today, I just thought I'd call to tell you what Professor Barkley told us. He said we're going to have to write a research paper.
Really? And how long do we have to finish it?
What does Tom ask Brenda? Number 7.
Julie certainly seems to like classical music.
She doesn't like just any classical music.
What does the woman imply about Julie? Number 8.
How did you do on Professor Dixon's history test?
Probably not too well. I skipped a couple of questions and I didn't have time to go back to them.
What does the man say about the history test? Number 9.
I can't seem to get the lid off this glass jar.
Maybe you could heat it in some warm water.
What does the woman suggest? Number 10.
This desk must be an expensive antique.
It may look like that, but I got it for next to nothing.
What does the woman say about the desk? Number 11. Traffic downtown was terrible today.
You don't have to tell me.
What does the woman imply? Number 12.
I wish my classes were over so I could get out and enjoy the sunshine.
Nice out there, isn't it?
What does the man mean? Number 13.
Gary's using that old tape player of yours.
He's welcome to it.
What does the woman mean? Number 14.
I'm going to make a run for it. You don't happen to have an umbrella I can borrow, do you?
No, but here's a newspaper.
What does the man imply the woman should do with the newspaper? Number 15.
I think Ed is the best choice for president of the student assembly.
So do I, now that Margaret's dropped out of the race.
What does the woman mean? Number 16.
Did you paint your apartment by yourself?
Actually, I got my brother to help. He owed me a favor.
What does the woman mean? Number 17.
I'd like to go swimming this afternoon, but it's such a long walk to the lake.
I know a shortcut. Let me show you on this map.
What does the woman offer to do for the man? Number 18.
I can't tell if this picture is straight or not.
I'll hold it while you stand back and take a look.
What are these people doing with the picture? Number 19.
I'm going to Stephanie's house. I have an assignment to complete and I need to use her computer.
Why don't you buy one of your own? Think how much time you could save.
What does the man suggest the woman do? Number 20.
From what I saw, your volleyball team needs a little more practice.
Only if we want to win some games.
What does the man imply?
Now let's begin Part C with the first talk. Questions 39 to 42. Listen to a talk given at a ceremony.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome the president of Colton College, the chancellors, the administrators, my fellow faculty members, and the students to the Academic Excellence Awards Night. Our first award for Faculty Member of the Year goes to Professor Patricia Callahan. I'm particularly pleased that this year's winner is from my own department. Professor Callahan has been at Colton College for a total of 8 years now, 2 as a graduate student and 6 as a faculty member. She has consistently received top evaluations from the students as well as from her department head. Her papers on historical economics are well respected by all of her colleagues, including myself, if I may say so. And this year, she received a government grant to continue her work of generating computer models of the economy. Please join me, ladies and gentlemen, in giving a round of applause to Professor Callahan.
Number 39. What is the purpose of this talk? Number 40. Who is the speaker? Number 41. What subject does Professor Callahan probably teach? Number 42. For how many years has Professor Callahan been a teacher at Colton College? Questions 43 to 46. Listen to the following announcement.
Good morning, listeners. This is KUNI, Campus Radio, with the local news. Did you have any trouble getting around in traffic downtown this morning? Several streets are blocked off because of the bicycle races that are taking place today and for the next 4 days. Some races will be taking place downtown, some in Woodland Park on the north side of town, and some on campus. Long-distance road races will be held in the countryside nearby. Our own university is fielding a team to compete for prizes and glory. So come on out and cheer them on. And say, if you found yourself caught in traffic this morning, I suggest that you ride your own bike to class or to work tomorrow.
Number 43. Who is the speaker? Number 44. What is the main topic of the talk? Number 45. According to the speaker, where will the long-distance road races be held? Number 46. What does the speaker suggest that his listeners do the next morning? Questions 47 to 50. Listen to the following lecture about photorealistic art.
Good morning, class. Today we'll continue our study of 20th century art movements with a discussion of photorealism, a style popular in the 1960s and 1970s. Painters who worked in this style realistically portrayed their subjects down to the smallest detail, and so their paintings resembled photographs in many respects. These painters usually chose subjects that were interesting only because they were so ordinary. A closed-down gas station, an old man waiting for a bus, a dilapidated billboard. Sculptors who worked in this style, such as Dwayne Hansen, created life-size sculptures of very ordinary people. Construction workers, tourists, sales clerks, homeless people. His sculptures are so lifelike that sometimes visitors to a gallery or museum will try to engage them in a conversation. Now we're going to look at some slides of various works of photorealism. I'd like all of you to take notes while you're viewing the slides. And then tonight, I'd like you to write a short paper describing your reactions to these works.
Number 47. Where was this talk probably given? Number 48. Which of the following would be the most likely subject of a photorealistic painting? Number 49. According to the speaker, why are the works of sculptor Dwayne Hansen so remarkable? Number 50. What will the audience for this talk do next?
This is the end of Section 1, Listening Comprehension. Stop work on Section 1.
Now let's begin with the first conversation. Number 1.
So are you still planning to fly to Orlando for your vacation?
Not the way airfares have been going up.
What does the man mean? Number 2.
I can't believe we have to buy 8 books for Professor McKnight's class. That's going to cost a fortune.
But 4 of them are inexpensive paperbacks.
What does the woman tell the man? Number 3.
You still planning to play golf this afternoon?
I don't think so. It looks a lot like rain to me.
What does the woman mean? Number 4.
Can everyone in the class meet in the library on Friday?
Everyone but Lisa.
What does the man mean? Number 5.
I went for a hike in the woods, and now my legs are all scratched up from the thorns.
Maybe next time you'll wear a pair of long pants when you go hiking.
What can be inferred about the man? Number 6.
So, Rob, what are you going to do with your free afternoon?
I thought I'd pay Michelle a visit.
What does Rob mean? Number 7.
There won't be enough chairs in the auditorium.
We could always rent more.
What does the man suggest? Number 8.
What does that sign say?
I can't quite make it out either.
What does the man tell the woman? Number 9.
It's getting harder and harder to find affordable housing near campus.
Isn't it, though?
What does the woman mean? Number 10.
I'm going to go now.
You'd better hurry. They're almost sold out of tickets for Saturday's game.
Where is the man probably going to go next? Number 11.
We raised some money this week, but it was just a drop in the bucket.
Maybe we'll do better next week.
What is the problem? Number 12.
Tell me, what do you think of our waiter?
Kind of rude, isn't he?
What is the woman's opinion of the waiter? Number 13.
Tony spent the whole weekend fishing and he didn't catch one single fish.
I'm not too surprised.
What does the man mean? Number 14.
I need a few more minutes to fill out this form.
Take your time.
What does the woman tell the man? Number 15.
Has Russell ever been to Seattle?
Once before, I believe.
What does the woman say about Russell? Number 16.
Is Lily still planning to study overseas?
No, her parents threw cold water on that plan.
What did Lily's parents do? Number 17.
David, do you think that the music was too loud?
Well, no, not if you wanted the people across town to hear it.
What does David imply about the music? Number 18.
This was supposed to be a quiet, relaxing weekend.
But it didn't quite turn out that way, did it?
What does the man imply about the weekend? Number 19.
The front door to the lab was unlocked on Saturday morning.
Really? That's strange.
What can be inferred from this conversation? Number 20.
This insurance policy has gotten so expensive, I can hardly afford it.
Yeah, but you can't really afford not to have it, can you?
What does the woman tell the man? Number 21.
Did Morgan pass the test?
Pass it with flying colors.
What does the man say about Morgan? Number 22.
Oh no, it's still out of order.
I guess we'll just have to walk up all those stairs again today.
What are these two people talking about? Number 23.
Did you take your raincoat to the cleaners, Meg?
No, I had to go to class, so I got my sister to take it.
What happened to the raincoat? Number 24.
The schedule says we have to attend an orientation session before we can register.
That's just for new students.
What can be inferred about these two speakers? Number 25.
So, Doug, are you looking forward to helping your brother move this weekend?
Well, there are a couple of other ways I'd rather spend my weekend.
What does Doug mean? Number 26.
This coin you found is worth a lot. It's quite rare.
Oh, an expert, are you?
What does the man imply about the woman? Number 27.
That sure is a catchy song.
You're telling me the melody's been running through my head all week.
What can be concluded about the song?
Number 28.
You look great in this picture, Larry. Look how you're smiling.
So you did take that picture of me after all.
What had the man originally assumed? Number 29.
Hotel rooms along the beach must be very expensive.
Not now. During the off-season, they're dirt cheap.
What does the man say about the hotel rooms? Number 30.
Who was that woman you were talking to at the reception?
That was Carol Donovan. She was my sister's roommate in college.
How is the woman acquainted with Carol Donovan?
This is the end of Part A. Go on to Part B.
let's begin Part B with the first conversation. Questions 31 to 34. Listen to the following phone conversation.
Hello, Campus Daily Advertising Department. This is Mark speaking.
Hi, I'm calling to place a couple of ads.
Sure. Under what classification?
Well, I wanted one in the roommate wanted section.
All right. And how would you like that to read?
Okay, it should read, female roommate wanted for pleasant, sunny, 2-bedroom apartment on Elliewood Avenue, 3 blocks from campus. Share rent and utilities. Available September 1st. Call between 5 and 9 p.m. and ask for Cecilia.
Fine. And what about your other ad?
That one I'd like under merchandise for sale, and I'd like it to read, matching blue and white sofa and easy chair. Excellent condition. $350 or best offer. Call between 5 and 9 p.m. and ask for Cecilia. Did you get all that?
Uh-huh. You'll want your phone numbers on these, right?
Oh, sure. Thanks for reminding me. It's 555-6972.
And how long do you want these ads to run?
For a week, I suppose. How much would that be?
It's $5 a week per line. Each of your ads will take up 3 lines, so that's $15 per ad.
Number 31. Where does Mark work? Number 32. Which of the following is Cecilia trying to find? Number 33. Which of the following does Cecilia initially forget to tell Mark? Number 34. What is the total amount that the 2 advertisements will cost for 1 week? Questions 35 to 38. Listen to the following conversation.
I'm sorry I'm late, Cindy.
That's all right, Joe. My house isn't that easy to find. But you know, you wouldn't have gotten lost if you'd had a smart car.
A smart car? What's that?
I just read a magazine article about some new technology that can make a car smart. One device is a computerized map display and a synthesized voice. You just enter the address where you want to go, and the voice tells you how to get there, street by street.
Hey, that's just like my brother. He never gets lost, and he's always telling me the best route. So what else will smart cars be able to do?
Well, the article said that they'll be equipped with radar warning systems that will warn drivers if they're getting too close to other cars with an alarm signal. And they'll even put on the brakes if the drivers don't.
Tell me, Cindy, will these cars be smart enough to fill themselves up with gas?
Not that I know of. Why do you ask?
Well, I'm not late because I got lost. I'm late because I ran out of gas on the way over here.
Number 35. Where did Cindy get her information about smart cars? Number 36. According to Cindy, what is the purpose of the synthesized voice on smart cars? Number 37. What does Joe imply about his brother? Number 38. Why was Joe delayed on his way to Cindy's house?
This is the end of Part B. Go on to Part C. Questions 34 to 37. Listen to the following conversation.
You'll be in room 207. Here's your key, and I hope you enjoy your stay with us, Ms. Cook.
Thanks. Oh, by the way, I'd like to get some information from you. You see, the conference I'm attending will be over early Wednesday, and I don't fly out until Thursday. Do you have any recommendations for sightseeing?
There's a great planetarium at our Natural History Museum. You might enjoy that.
I don't know. I don't think I want to do that. The city I come from has a good planetarium.
There are also some good art galleries downtown.
I'm more interested in doing something outdoors.
Oh, well, there's a beautiful waterfall called Crystal Falls not far from here.
That sounds like something I'd enjoy seeing. How do I get there?
Do you have a car, or will you be taking a bus?
I rented a car at the airport.
Then just take Watterson Street west out of town and go about 5 miles. You'll see a sign that says Crystal Falls. It's a short walk from there.
That sounds great. Thanks.
Number 34. Where is this conversation taking place? Number 35. What does Ms. Cook imply that her main purpose was in coming to this town? Number 36. Why does Ms. Cook not want to go to the planetarium? Number 37. How will Ms. Cook probably get to the waterfall?
This is the end of Part B. Go on to Part C.
Questions 38 to 41. Listen to a part of a talk about a type of dance.
Good afternoon. In today's class, we're going to continue our discussion of dance around the world with a look at the hula, a dance of the Hawaiian Islands. And we'll see a video of a traditional hula dance. Today, when we hear the word hula, most of us think of women in grass skirts, swaying to ukulele music while tourists take pictures. The traditional version, though, is quite different from the dance as it is performed today. The traditional hula was danced by both men and women who had been trained at special schools. It was accompanied by rhythmic chanting. The chants and the dances were originally performed to honor the gods, promote fertility, or praise great Hawaiian leaders. The traditional hula was banned by missionaries from New England around 1820, and the hula dance itself survived only in a radically different form. The performance you'll see on the screen this afternoon, though, is as much like the original dance as possible. Even the costumes the dancers are wearing are authentic. Now let's turn down the lights and watch.
Number 38. Who is the audience for this lecture? Number 39. What can be inferred about the dance that the audience will see? Number 40. What effect did New England missionaries have on the traditional hula dance in around 1820? Number 41. What will the audience for this talk do next? Questions 42 to 45. Listen to the following talk.
Imagine you're driving down the highway one spring day and it begins to rain. You hear the sound of the rain on the car roof. Suddenly, it sounds as if small stones are pounding on the car, and you see balls of ice bouncing on the road. You're in a hailstorm, and you'd better get your car under cover. Hailstones can damage vehicles, as well as gardens and farmers' crops. If you pick up a hailstone and cut it in half, you'll see it has layers, just like an onion. A hailstone begins its existence as a snowflake, high in the atmosphere. The snowflake comes in contact with what is called supercooled water, water that exists at temperatures below freezing, but is still in liquid form. This water forms a coating of ice around the snowflake, and it becomes a hailstone. As the hailstone falls, the layers of ice build up. Air currents may lift the hailstone back into the supercooled water many times, and more layers of ice form until the air currents can no longer hold it up. Then it falls to earth. Hailstorms occur most often in the spring. Some hailstones are as big as baseballs and may weigh over a pound.
Number 42. What is the main purpose of this lecture? Number 43. Why does the speaker compare a hailstone to an onion? Number 44. According to the speaker, how does a hailstone begin its existence? Number 45. According to the speaker, when are hailstorms most common? Questions 46 to 50. Listen to part of a lecture about child development.
Now, in the last few minutes of class, I'd like to address a slightly different issue. The question of how children learn to talk. Learning to speak their own language is one of children's greatest accomplishments, yet it is a somewhat mysterious process. Children first begin to make language-like noises when they are between 2 and 4 months old. These noises generally begin with the letters G and K because these sounds, goo and coo, are the easiest sounds for infant mouths to make. Between 4 months and 8 months, infants begin to babble meaningless syllables. Most common are those beginning with P, B, D, M, or N sounds, followed by a vowel sound. Parents sometimes misinterpret these as actual words, such as mama or dada. Between 6 months and a year, babies say their first true words. Vocabulary grows slowly at first, usually only a few words a month. But once a child has learned about 50 words, generally at around 18 months, the pace picks up rapidly. At first, children say single words. Then they begin forming 2-word combinations. All gone, more milk, see doggy. Children's 2-word combinations are so similar the world over that they read like translations of one another. Between the age of 2 and 3, children can form complete sentences and have mastered the basics of grammar. Can you believe it? A 2.5-year-old toddler is a grammatical genius, and all without studying a single rule. Typically, 4-year-olds know some 15,000 words and can form very sophisticated sentences. Even their mistakes are very logical. I saw 2 mans. Or, we goed to Grandma's house. So, how does this all happen? Well, there are several conflicting theories about language acquisition, but unfortunately, there just isn't time to discuss them today. So we'll take them up in Wednesday's class. In the meantime, please read Chapter 8 in your textbook. See you Wednesday.
Number 46. What is the main topic of this talk? Number 47. Which of the following sounds would a 2-month-old baby be most likely to produce? Number 48. At what age do most children begin to master the basics of grammar? Number 49. What does the speaker say about the grammatical mistakes that 4-year-olds make? Number 50. Why does the speaker not discuss the theories about how children acquire language?
This is the end of Section 1. Listening Comprehension. Stop work on Section 1.
Now let's begin with the first conversation. Number 1.
Did Joan get someone to fix the broken window?
No, she did it herself.
What does the woman say about Joan? Number 2.
You're from Mayport? There's a big golf tournament held there every year, isn't there?
You're right. That golf tournament really put our little town on the map.
What does the woman say about the town of Mayport? Number 3.
This painting isn't an original, it's a copy.
How do you know that?
What does the man ask the woman? Number 4.
Do you know where the nearest pharmacy is?
There's one in the supermarket on Lexington Street, right next to that big used car lot.
What does the woman probably want? Number 5.
Mandy, did you get a chance to read that magazine I gave you?
Cover to cover.
What does Mandy say about the magazine? Number 6.
Jack didn't sound bad at all.
Yeah, considering he hasn't played the guitar in years.
What do the speakers say about Jack? Number 7.
Do you think that I've packed too much equipment for my camping trip?
It should be just right, Max, if you plan to be gone for a couple of years.
What does the woman imply about Max? Number 8.
What should I take with me when I talk to the mayor?
I bring a pen and notebook and a small tape recorder. Oh, and a prepared list of questions, of course.
What is the woman probably planning to do? Number 9.
That couldn't have been Professor Le Guin that you saw yesterday. He's been at a conference in San Francisco all week.
Well, it sure looked like him.
What can be inferred about the woman? Number 10.
There must be something wrong with that microphone the speaker is using. I can hardly understand a word he's saying.
Yeah, I can only catch a word or two myself.
Why are these people probably having trouble understanding the speaker? Number 11.
Do you know where Dr. Delaney's office is?
There's a directory over by the elevators.
What does the man imply about Dr. Delaney's office? Number 12.
Do you still like country music?
Can't get enough of it.
What does the woman say about country music? Number 13.
You weren't very busy at work today, I suppose.
Not busy. We were snowed under.
What does the woman mean? Number 14.
I've spent all my money for the month.
Join the club.
What does the man mean? Number 15.
Is Clark going to come to the reception with us?
If he can tear himself away from his computer for one evening, he might.
What does the woman imply about Clark? Number 16.
In this photograph, Gordon looks like the youngest person in your group.
Actually, he's the second oldest.
What is learned about Gordon from this conversation? Number 17.
Sam sure cooks good pancakes.
Yeah, but not much else.
What does the woman say about Sam? Number 18.
Professor Bryant always grades fairly.
I couldn't agree with you more.
What does the woman mean? Number 19.
We should discuss our presentation sometime in the next few days.
Fine. How about over lunch today?
When does the woman want to talk about the presentation? Number 20.
I'd love to be up in the mountains where it's cool.
So you're not enjoying our weather this month?
What can be inferred from the man's remark? Number 21.
This is a great restaurant. You can get anything you want here.
Anything except good service.
What is the woman's opinion of the restaurant? Number 22.
Does the name John Casey ring a bell for you?
John Casey. I can't say that it does.
What does the man ask the woman about John Casey? Number 23.
I didn't know you were interested in geology.
Well, it's a requirement to take at least one science course, and geology seemed like the easiest one.
Why is the man taking the geology course? Number 24.
Have you ever seen a bear?
Only at the zoo.
What does the man mean? Number 25.
Connie asked you a lot of questions, didn't she?
Yes, she did. And I'd like to know what she was driving at.
What does the man wonder about Connie? Number 26.
Gary, do you know when the work on that new road will be done?
The sooner the better, as far as I'm concerned.
What does Gary say about the new road? Number 27.
My brother Charles is studying in Europe.
Really? Since when?
What does the woman want to know about the man's brother? Number 28.
Charlotte will be starting graduate school in September.
So she did get a scholarship.
What had the man originally assumed? Number 29.
Today is the 1st of the month. Isn't your rent due today?
Yes, but I always pay it on the day before it's due.
What does the man say about his rent? Number 30.
A lot of people were planning to attend the debate.
Not many were there, though.
What does the man mean?
This is the end of Part A. Go on to Part B.
Now let's begin Part B with the first conversation. Questions 31 to 33. Listen to the following conversation.
John, I hear you bought a new car.
I did just buy a car, but it's not exactly a new one. It was made back in the 1950s. Here, take a look at this photo.
Wow, you're right. This car hasn't been new for a long time. Couldn't you afford a newer car?
Believe it or not, this car cost almost as much as a new one.
Really? How could that be?
Well, a lot of cars from the 40s, 50s, and 60s have become collector's items and are worth a lot of money.
But this one doesn't seem to be in very good shape.
The engine is still in good condition. I plan to fix up the interior and to paint the car myself. Then it will be worth even more money.
So then you'll resell it?
No, I don't plan to resell it. But I might enter it in some classic auto shows. Maybe I'll win a prize.
Number 31. Why did Don buy an older car? Number 32. When was Don's car made? Number 33. What does Don plan to do with the car he bought?